Hello, dear friends, wherever you are this moment, I greet you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on your time zone and your geographical location. I want to use this opportunity to pass a serious and crucial information to you wherever you are residing in Biafra land and in Southeast especially. Most of the time, I discover that Southeast people, call it Igbo people, take things for granted always. So it is only when it is difficult, it is finished, everything is damaged, that is when they get up. Because if Southeast have seen the reason to get up since Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have been shouting, get up, stop sleeping. This is not the moment to sleep. Terrorists are on their way. They are going to destroy you, break your house, bring you out, kill you with impunity. And Buhari, who is sponsoring them, and his co-host, they will not say a word. They will not do anything because there is no law in Nigeria, no judiciary, no police, no military. Everything in Nigeria is terrorists. Nigeria government runs terrorist organization. A situation whereby people dies in thousands on daily basis and nobody care and nobody listens to the cry of the masses. They kill your brother, kill your sister, kill your husband, your wife, the baby, the pregnant women. So, and you say that this is a country to inhabit, and you say that you have a government. Some Igbos are very proud to be Nigerians, not minding the catastrophic issues that are happening to them. But because it is not particularly in their own family it happened, then they didn't see any reason to get up, to begin to fight ahead of time, so that what has happened to others will not happen to them. And that is why you recorded a lot of jeopardy, you recorded a lot of catastrophic issues, you see tragic events and unusual things, earthly cleansing from fallen herdsmen. I'm not happy this moment, but I'm alerting my people because some of them are still insulting us on the social media. Same as if that we don't have anything to do. And that is why we found time to pre-inform them of the danger ahead of them by the hand of so-called Nigeria government. Catastrophic events everywhere. What people are celebrating in Nigeria is burial ceremony, funeral ceremony. Every compound in Southeast is mass grave anywhere you go in Southeast. And some people in that Southeast are enjoying it. And this makes some of us to leave the important thing we are doing, to come down, to get the land of Biafra protected. And it's like some of them are still kicking against us. They joined hands together with Nigeria government terrorists to betray our gallant soldiers, to betray our generals, to betray our commanders, and the Fulani Mietiala terrorists kill them with impunity, and nobody cares. It's a thing of tears. It's something regrettable. You must regret to be a Nigerian. If you don't do that, your calamities will never end. So what I'm telling you this moment should be very, very important to you. Some of you who are still breathing in and breathing out, because you don't value what we are saying. You don't care, provided you eat suya and cow intestine. Fulanis have concussed your brain with this. So you don't want to look at the Fulanis with a bad eyes to see that this is the worst enemy ever existed on earth. That the world powers, United Nations, place them on the world index as the fourth deadliest terrorist on earth. But you see how Buhari fought to remove the Nigerian name out of the terrorist index in the whole world. But no Igbo man was willing to fight so that terrorism will not encroach Biafra land. So what I'm telling you this moment is that the worst to have happened in Benue State, to be precise, the people of Benue State are weeping this moment. They have been crying that something happened to them. They lost 60 people by the hands of Fulani terrorists. Not too long, within the space of 7 hours now, they say gunmen, where are the gunmen coming from, have taken the head of 30 people. So add 60 to 30, it will give you 90 scores, which have been taken away from Benue State. And don't forget that Benue State is not far from Igbo land. As I'm talking with you this moment, everywhere is quiet. And the only thing people could do is to cry. But let us tell ourselves the truth. What is happening in Benue State? Benue State government instituted security organization outfit. Now, you have right to ask, where is the essence of it? What is the meaning of that security outfit instituted in Benue State? Since those security officers, all right, and the vigilantes, they are there, and all these things are happening in Benue State. And at the same time, ask yourself, what are the soldiers, Nigerian soldiers in Benue State, and police and DSS are doing? Don't forget, I told you earlier, when you people are protesting, then Fulani Mietiala terrorists will see it as an opportunity to take advantage of the people in that state, because your attention all will be taken by protest. Probably this is what has happened. As they left the villagers empty, open, then they see a means to penetrate, to perpetrate evil. Now, if Nigerian military, terrorists, police, and DSS are not in support of Fulani terrorists, why should this happen? Why should it happen? And if this has happened, now, what's supposed to be the action of Benue State government? He have to spot out all the policemen involved in that local government all the militaries in that local government and flush them out. Not only flushing them out, get them arrested. Those who are on duty on the very day this ugly incident took place should be arrested for them to explain what they know about these recent killings. But I'm telling you the truth. The local government chairman will not say anything. The governor will not say anything. The senators will not say anything. They see it as a normal thing. It has been happening. Why should it change in your turn that Fulanese killed you? Why should it be a case to be talked about? Why should you disturb somebody that Fulanese killed your mother or your brother or your sister or your father? Is it not something normal that have been going on? Why should it pain you on the other hand? It's a normal thing. You too, are you sure of yourself that before you reach your house that you will not join those who have died? That is the way I look at it. Nigeria government, anywhere you see them, they don't have human attitude. They don't have human character. They don't have human feelings. This issue of Benue State killings by Fulanese, they did not start today. It have taken many years ago. And every government that comes in will come and rule and reign and embezzle the money and go his way. All their targets of coming into power is Nigeria crude oil from a land. From every state, 36 states that made up Nigeria. Anybody who is coming to contest for anything is coming primarily to embezzle the government fund through crude oil coming out from Nigeria. Not to protect the people he made a lot of promises to. Look at Tinubu today. Tinubu is withdrawing his word. There was no time he said he's going to do this for Nigerians. He's going to do that for Nigerians. And now the protest become too hot for him. He said Nigerians should be patient with him. And they should remember the people he share money to in Nigeria to take care of themselves. Just listen to what your president is saying. A country that is above 300 million in population. So then he selected maybe 1,000 people and give them 20,000 naira. Okay, he said it's 7,000 for each people. 1,000 people, each person, 7,000 naira. So what are you going to use 7,000 naira to buy in Nigeria? And you people, your conscience is not probing you. You didn't see any reason to say, if this is the case, let Nigeria be divided. Let Tinubu go and govern the people he can feed with 7,000 naira every month. Is it 7,000 naira that his family eats every month? I don't understand. And I'm telling you that the jeopardy of Nigeria have come to stay. Nigeria pandemic is incurable. And the Nigerians have learned to live with the evil. I'm asking you, where are the authorities in Benue State? When you talk, they will say, they will still send, the same politicians will send higher killers to assassinate you because you are saying the truth. And what I'm saying now is repugnant to what is happening in Biafra land and southeast. There's no difference. Now, Benue State citizens are now appealing to Biafra liberation armies to come and help them to combat insecurity in Benue State. So, where are the security outfits created by the previous administration of Benue State government by George, what is his name? The one that left recently, that challenged Buhari to any extent he wanted, that he will do it with him. So where are those securities? So living what we called, or what Hausa people called, Kwame life. They're living Kwame life. So they don't care about whatever that is happening. What they are interested is that one you give to them at that moment they are eating. I'm here to proffer solution to Benue State. I'm here to proffer solution to Nigeria State. I'm here to proffer solution to Biafra nation. Because that is me. I'm not tribalistic. And I'm not demonstrating tribalism. In my speeches, listen carefully before you lay allegation on me, before you say whatever you want to say. One thing I know is that a sincere person cannot be stopped and cannot be destroyed, because what Almighty God needed is to be sincere. So now, as people are crying and suffering in the whole Nigeria, then some people will barge in and kill a bunch of citizens. And Nigeria police will tell you that they don't know where those people are coming from. So where were you people? What makes you intelligent officers? You are an intelligent officer. So they have CID in Benue. They have DSS, which are criminals. They have military terrorists. They have paramilitary, that is Selfdefense Corps. They have all these people, and they are paying them, and they are not discharging their duty with equity and fairness. Where is justice in this matter? The president is zero. The governors are zero. The senators are zero. The judiciary is zero. Tell me what is actually happening in Nigeria that none of them can reason backward. None of them can think and rethink and ask, why is this happening? And when it happens like this, they call it communal clash. Farmer headers clash. That is the grammatic expression, just to baptize it for illiterates who didn't understand what English is all about or what grammar is all about. They will tell you that it is communal clash. So forget it is a normal thing. Communal clash between you and who? How can Fulanese come from nowhere and enter Benue State and begin to kill people, to take their lands, and you say it's a communal clash? I'm telling you that Islamic extremists in Nigeria is well prepared. It's the so-called Christians that are very loose and they don't understand what is going on in the spirit realm. And they keep on deceiving you. You go to church in the morning, you go to church in the afternoon, you go to church in the evening, you don't sleep, midnight prayer, And that's how you are fasting. And at the end of the day, you will be killed by your fellow human being. And the person will run away. Kill and run. Are you getting it now? And the pastor will tell you to keep on praying. Terrorists will die. Keep on praying. You don't know that the terrorists have taken over North. Terrorists have taken over Hausa land. And gradually, they believe that Benue State is one of the states that Fulanis have gained the ground. When you go there to Benue State, you see a Fulani man claiming a land in Benue State. Is it not a shameful thing that no government in Benue State that ever come in and say, let me solve this problem once and for all? Fulanis are not Benue State indigenous. Instead of you Fulanis sitting down here, as we give you land, we welcome you, and you are busy killing our people, all the Fulanis in Benue State must leave. Go back to wherever you are coming from. Give order. You are the #1 security citizen officer in Benue State. Give order for the terrorists to evacuate from your state. There's no two ways about it. And they cannot overpower the government of the day, no matter whatever they want to do, and no matter whoever that send them. But people of Benue State refuse to understand the signal given to them that this is the signal of overtaking and overthrowing and trapping out what belongs to you by force. Whether you like it or not, they want to take it by force. When Fulanis come to your place, what they do is to use the means of violence. And that violence is what will end the whole thing. They will run out your compound from your hand, run out your land from your hand. And you see Fulanis living there because they have decided that by force will they take over Nigeria by Buhari's advice. You may not understand what I'm saying. Until the very day Fulanis, the Benue State people, Benue State youths, until the very day they wake up and hate suya, and hate intestine, cow intestine, and hate to set their eyes on cows, hate to see anybody called Fulani around them, because Benue State have no similitude of Fulani nature. They don't have the same culture. They don't have the same custom. They don't dress in the same way, and there's no means you can compare them with the Benue State indigenes until these people wake up to hate everything that has to do with Fulanis. Then their problems will never be solved. You have to develop inner hatred, unimaginable, for them, and make sure that they get out of your state, because your governors are not ready to do anything about it. How can somebody come from nowhere and come and take your land from you and they kill you at the same time, and the governor will not say anything? The judge there will not say anything. The lawyers have nothing to offer. The police and the soldiers there, they are being overpowered. Let me tell you something. It's not that the police and the soldiers does not know what to do, but the governor in charge have suppressed and over-suppress the police and military and tell them what to do and what not to do. Not to touch the Fulanis and not to send the Fulanis packing out of Benue State, because he want to win election and he have won election and he want to rule the people and finish his tenure, pack all the money he want to pack and leave Benue State. That is why any one of them that finish ruling Benue State, you find it difficult to see the person in Nigeria. He will fly to abroad with his family, where bombs and bullets will not touch them. But it's very unfortunate that you people are not ready to take the bull by the horn. You are not ready to take decisive action. You are not ready to be competent enough to challenge your detractors. You are not ready to look into the eyes of the governor and the police and the soldier and ask them, who are you and what do you think you are doing here? We can do better than you, even without a gun. For your information, if you people continue like this, Fulanis will invade everywhere in Benue State and take it over. But why I'm saying this, what I'm saying this moment, is for Biafrans to understand the sophisticated ideas of the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic in exile against terrorists and terrorism going on in Nigeria, on how he has posed to fight terrorism in Biafra land, which the governors from south to east opposes it, and none of them likes it. And this was why they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because he formed ESN to protect Igbo land, to protect Biafra land. And the governors, the politicians, and the Ohanezes, the Igwes, local chiefs, and all of them, traditional rulers, ganged against him. Some pay ransom of billions of naira to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being kidnapped, so that the terrorists can widely and smoothly operate, invade everywhere, because the Fulani man is the president of Nigeria. I'm telling you the truth. And without using that sophisticated hands, being brutal to the indigenous people of Biafra, then Buhari believed that the Fulanis cannot get what they are looking for, because Buhari hated the Igbos with a cruel hatred. And that is why I can bet you and tell you that what is happening in Benue State today have happened in Biafra land before, and it's still happening now, because the so-called politicians from Igbo land decided to absorb the Fulanis in their midst and give them land and give them security, but that is police security. Whenever they are going for their barbaric activities, police and soldiers will escort them for killing the innocent indigenous people of Biafra. And this is why I'm telling you that the government of Simon Ekpa is more hotter, very, very tense and stronger and powerful and irresistible, more than when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was outside there. Simon Ekpa goes into action headlong to collide with them and to teach them a lesson. And this is why we are here at home to do the needful, because we will not tolerate to see any terrorist in the land of Biafra. The ones they've killed ignorantly. Why I say ignorantly is because we never understood, we never knew what was going on. We thought that it is a normal confusion or misunderstanding from the government of Nigeria. That is past 8 years now. But we little did we know that this is an already arranged issue to take over Biafra land, to invade Biafra land, and to make sure that they single-handedly ravage and pervade and destroy everything living in Biafra land. And when we discover this, we from abroad, we decided we must leave our stations. And I organize it and I work it out. I make sure that militaries who are militaries, organized and properly trained militaries, arrive to Biafra land to make sure that it's properly protected from the brutal terrorists from Futa Jalon and Futa Toro and wherever they are coming from, to make sure that we stop them from invading Biafra land. And good thing, Simon Ekpa is a man with a vision. At the same time, he was a soldier, and now he is a solicitor. He is an activist. He's a lawyer, and he knows what he's doing as a senior advocate in Europe. And with this have led to a lot of insinuations by some people who felt like they have 1 billion naira and they have 20 billion naira, so that their money can buy life, can buy human being, can get them whatever they want. And we want to tell them, and we have told them, that they are too small to be compared with Biafra nation, that nobody can be compared with the Biafra nation. And no Igbo politician is above Biafra nation. And no Igbo politician that can challenge Biafra nation. That Biafra nation senior every Igbo politician, senior all the traditional rulers and the so-called Ohanezes, because God Almighty made the land of Biafrans before he created the Biafrans. He created the land of Biafra first. Then he formed the Biafrans to live on that land. Don't forget that what is happening in the world today is nothing but land dispute. We read the history of Israelites properly with the Pakistan, with the Palestinians. The talk of what do they call themselves? Iran. This is all this going on now. Is what have been predicted, and it's a predestination. It's something that must come to pass because God spoke it, but we human beings refuse to listen. Just like as Mazen Namdekano shouted here and there, and nobody was willing to listen to what he is saying until Buhari and his men, his kinsmen, his uncles and cousins swim into action. Let me ask you a question. As you are doubting me and you don't believe what I'm saying, why is it so that the so-called Igbo elites have not been able to remove Mazen Amdekano from the DSS custody? Sit yourself down as a Biafran and ask yourself, all these so-called elites, powerful men, this, that, why is it so that they are not able? Let me tell you something. There's something you don't know. If there is any person or group of people that will remove Mazen Amdekano from the DSS custody, it's Igbo elites, because they know how they put him there. It is their responsibility to remove him out of that place, not the responsibility of another person. And that is why the government from Igbo land, the 5 governors from Igbo land, will not escape untimely death. And no Igbo politician that will escape untimely death. I'm telling you the truth, and I assure you, time is approaching when we shall collide face to face, and they will know the evil and atrocities they committed, that this is an inevitable retribution. It is a door that they must pass through. This is a debt they must pay without mercy. As you are listening to me, you may not like what I'm saying, but I'm saying it, I'm telling you something that will shortly happen. Whether now or after, there is none of them that will escape. Because we have come to the knowledge that they are deliberately doing what they are doing in order to fill their pockets. So now they are using Igbo citizens for earthly cleansing. So on the other hand, they are using them for ritual. Igbo politicians, Igbo elites are using Igbo indigenes, Igbo citizens now for ritual. Anyhow you look at it. They are the one who call soldiers. I have evidence to prove of what I'm saying. Anywhere you take me to, I challenge you and I bet you, I will win you, I will knock you down, you will suffer smackdown. You will suffer backlash. I am telling you the truth. So, you see the example from Hope Uzodinma. He always called Buhari when Buhari was there. Buhari should send more soldiers and send more ammunitions. To do what? For Fulanis who wear military uniform and police uniform and DSS uniform to kill Igbos in their own ancestral land. Then you are telling me that you don't know what is happening. Now today, you are talking, some of you are saying that the Biafra liberation fighters, they should go and fight and remove Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from there. Are they the one who put Mazen Nnamdi Kanu there? And you don't know that without the pains and the sufferings of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the Biafra land would have been closed down by now. You forgot this in a hurry. That Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is being used as a substitute as a ransom for your sake. His life was subsidized for you to be alive. Whatever Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is going through today in the DSS custody is because of you. He is suffering it. And you have never seen this. And it have not come to your knowledge. And that is why when you get up, you write your junk, make unnecessary statement, because I know that some of them are Fulanis that are making that comments. And the Igbos who are there making the rubbish comments and saying whatever they feel, that is how it's supposed to be. I know that they are saboteurs, but we are waiting for them. As we are looking for them, let them look for us so that we and them will collide. You're asking me where I am, making noise. So where are you? You cannot come out because we have been looking for you. Come out and declare your stand that we are the ones who are talking against Biafra, that Biafra will not come. And we are the ones who stop Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from being released. Let us see you. We will divide you the way it's supposed to be. Tell me, if it is paining Igbos for once, why should they relax with Hope Uzodinma, Charles Soludo, Dave Umahi, Okezi Bazu, and the rest of them? Imagine Dave Umahi to open his mouth and say that Biafra land, that Ebonyi State is not part of Biafra. And everybody was quiet, listening. Is it not only once you die? Will you die twice? Somebody will come and take your wife before you, take your son before you, take your daughters in your presence and finish them up. And you don't have anything. The next thing is to kill you. It is your turn. And you are afraid of death. The first attempt the person is trying to make, you stop him. Let you and him do something unusual. If he can kill you, then he can be able to take your family and kill. But if he cannot kill you, he cannot kill any member of your family. It's a man to man. Whatever that reach your hand, you use on them. It is self-defense. That is what English people call it. Self-defense. And go to the international constitution. Self-defense is not a crime. You are protecting yourself from the enemy. Because if you allow the enemy will kill you. See what they did in United Nations. First in history. 5,000 people were confirmed dead in one day by Osama bin Laden. And I think United Nations take their time and try to understand that no matter however they feel and whatever they claim to be on top of the world, that nobody is above God. And we are able to understand that terrorists cannot be accommodated, and terrorists cannot change. Terrorists cannot repent. Terrorists cannot relent. But in Igbo land, they bottle cream, expensive cream, and expensive soap, bathing terrorists, robbing terrorists, cream. And when he went out for his illegal and dastard activities and sustained injury, Igbo politicians have hospital for terrorists in Imo State. Hope Uzodinma is the one who constructed the hospital for terrorists. When they sustain injury, they will go there and treat themselves. In the Anambra State as well, the criminal who just died recently, who was 52 years old, hardened the criminal. Sanatoba, where is he? Go and read his record. You say he was a businessman. Listen, there's no any business tycoon or business magnate from Igbo land that I don't know. In my capacity, as you are listening to me, genuinely find out my background. You know who I am. Now, all the people he duped is coming up, billions of nairas and dollars. And he was in London rejoicing with his children and his wife. And the people he killed are crying in Nigeria. And he thought that he will continue living. Call evil evil. Call a spade a spade. Remove bad thing from your midst, so that evil will stop operating. So what I'm saying this moment should make sense to whoever that is listening to me. We have come and we have come. And we shall make sure that terrorism did not spread and did not continue in Biafra land. You may say this and say that, such as what you are saying now is happening in Benue State. It's not in Igbo land. And this is the kind of mental understanding that some Igbos, some Biafrans are having. During Jonathan time, Jonathan, the president, good luck Jonathan, that was the time that terrorists started penetrating eastern region. I know vividly when there was explosive device, there was explosion of bomb on the bridge in River State, on one bridge like that. What did they say? They conceal it. Oh, it's not anything. Oh, it's a vehicle that the tire busted, the tire punctured. They look for something and gather and they cover it. And today, who is deceiving who? Even the terrorists that killed over 500 people in Roman Catholic Church in Madala, Niger State, on the day of Christmas, 25th December, 1 year like that. What happened? When they searched him by security operatives, they searched him. They found a check of 500,000 naira with him. and they investigated him. He had 2 children and his wife. So he went to the upstairs somewhere and the Lord rented and keep his family and come and committed that evil. Till today, I am talking with you. Some of you understand what I'm saying, that I'm saying the truth. Is it not somebody that gave him that check? He is a fallen man, well learned. They brought him to television. All right? Is it not somebody that gave him that check? A politician from North. So why is it so that the name of that particular person on the check was not mentioned? And I'm telling you, the person called the government of the day, good luck, Jonathan, and tell him that nothing should happen to that terrorist that was arrested. And that was how the matter died off. Nobody talks about it. Nobody says anything about it. And that was the end of the whole thing. And they leave him. Then he appreciated his wife and his own children. So now tell me, who is not a terrorist in that contraction of North and Southwest amalgamated called Nigeria? Tell me who is not a terrorist. Because when it is happening, Yoruba governors, politicians, they didn't come out to say anything. They remain silent. Igbo governors, the same, they didn't say anything. They remain silent. Hausa people, they know that it is from them. And they feel like they want to remove Christians out of North. They want to remove Christians out of Nigeria. This is a holy war period. Jihadist moment. The time that if you are not a Muslim, you must be killed. And that is jihadists. And that is holy war. But Christians are running away, calling Holy Ghost. Have you ever seen Holy Ghost carrying a gun? Have you ever seen Holy Ghost carrying bombs? Obuligwe. Have you ever seen Holy Ghost with Obuligwe? Oh, we are just talking about something reasonable, and your mentality that your pastor have concussed. You are no more reasoning like a human being. Because church have become your room and parlor. Church have become your flat. Now they are entering a church, killing you people. Because you are not ready to fight back. Bible said that oppression makes a wise man mad. Bible said that right from the time of John the Baptist, that heaven suffered violent, and violent men take it by force. Which side are you? Where are you? And what are you doing to prevent untimely death? To stop terrorism in your own area? No matter however and whatever the government of terrorists is saying, you don't have to listen to them, because they are out for destruction, not for construction. And that's why I said those who are protesting against bad governance, that they are wasting their time. As long as a Muslim man is the president of Nigeria, there is what they have agreed to do with the Sokoto Caliphate before he started displaying his attitude. And if you want to change your mind as one of them, they will assassinate you. Because they believe that they are born to rule and you are born to serve. And for this reason, no any other person from every other ethnic group in Nigeria that will say a word. But it's very painful and unfortunate that the Igbo politicians who are on their own and in their own region and their own ancestral land